Hi there, Holly Fogel here, the 1 Hour Coach. I am thrilled to have you pop on here today as we talk about our planning session for next year. Fourth quarter is a great time to really set the stage for a strong foundation for the following year. And actually, what we're going to go through today can be utilized quarterly. When I work with new agents in a coaching capacity, we always start with our entrepreneur's path. So I'm going to be taking you through that today. RE/MAX Center's business foundation plan. Little bit of background, I have been licensed for 21 years. I've been with RE/MAX Center for that entire time in many different roles. Started out in sales and then moved and transitioned into business development, mentoring, coaching, and now own my own company called the 1 Hour Coach. And I still assist all the folks at RE/MAX Center on a regular basis with different courses, classes, coaching, mentoring, training, and just basically assisting. So thank you so much for hopping on here today for our entrepreneur's path into a strong foundation for your career. So we're going to go through these steps, and what's really important is that you really don't skip any of the steps that we're going to go through. So I'm going to be popping in and out of different resources that we utilize to keep our agents on track and ensure their success and that their goals are met. So we have proven this system year over year. So I'm thrilled to be able to share it with you today. All of these resources are available with a simple email to me or a phone call or a text and requesting the information, which I will put up on the screen at the end. So definitely feel free to reach out and utilize these in your daily business. So when we think about our real estate career, you really do have to be thinking on the entrepreneur level. You're not an employee. So you are an independent contractor who has decided to open a business. One of the most fascinating businesses that I have really ever been involved with. And even as a coach, when I look at different business opportunities, I don't see any with such a low barrier for entry, which is great, but it's a little bit misleading because we do have a high barrier to actually have success in this industry. It's not a given. Getting your license is relatively simple. It's relatively inexpensive. But actually putting that license to work for you to have a profitable and really flourishing career does require quite a bit of planning. You are wearing many different hats. So the quicker you learn how to delegate and understand what your individual strengths are, the quicker you'll be on a path to success. So what I'm going to take you through in the next 45 minutes is really going through all of these steps. And if you will really take the time, and I'm talking a day or two on each step, so not rushing through this process, but actually spending a few weeks working on yourself and your mindset and really where your strengths and your weaknesses are, where your opportunities and threats are, that's really what's going to lay the foundation for you to be truly, truly successful. So I'm going to take you through your aspirations and give you some hints and some strategies on how you can really define what it is you're trying to accomplish. We're going to look at the scary B word, the budgets. Most people want to skip this step, and unfortunately, this probably is the most powerful step that will give you the direction and the fire under our butts to really stay focused and stay true to a plan. So budgeting cannot be skipped. But I find in my 11 years of coaching that this is a huge, huge step that often is ignored. We're going to set your financial goal. So in here, we're going to actually be able to establish your lifestyle number and actually figure out what that is down almost to the penny. We're then going to walk through how many contacts you need to make with human beings in order to hit your financial goal. So you're going to have clarity. But having the clarity and knowing what to do isn't enough. Then we need to look at our marketing and figure out what sales channels are we going to utilize in order to make the contacts that are necessary to complete the number of transactions that will ultimately provide us with our lifestyle number and our entrepreneur's mantra. So you have to know what your strengths are and what those activities look like during those hours that you're lead generating and lead converting. So you have to know what to do. Most people know what they want, but they don't know what to do to get there. So we're going to really dive in and make sure that it makes sense for you. And this is where the coaching becomes really instrumental. It's really consulting to really figure out what you're good at, why you're good at it, and what you're willing to endure and fall in love with in order to have your goals be realized. Then we're going to focus on what kind of training is available for you to actually put the marketing into place so that you can master those skills over the next 5 years. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of accountability. So that's kind of the roadmap of where we're going. I encourage you to get out a sheet of paper. Again, you can have copies of all of this. Just you'll be reaching out to me at the end. And of course, if you need any further direction or just want to bounce ideas off, or if there's something that you hear that I talk about today that you want to know more about, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. We can hop on a Zoom call, do some strategy sessions, whatever you need, I'm here to do. That's what I do. And that is absolutely what I love. So great career you have chosen. So your aspirations. So important to understand why you're doing what you're doing and what the goal is and what the benefit is for all the hard work that you're going to be doing to actually hit these lifestyle numbers. So you'll notice we have a couple of examples here on the left. You know, I want to put my kids through college. That's really important to me. I want to toast our 30th anniversary on the Eiffel Tower. I want to retire at 60. That's actually a goal that sounds very interesting to me, to retire at 60. Volunteering in a homeless shelter 20 hours a week. You know, I encourage you to write down as many things that you want to accomplish in the next 12 months. And all of those things are probably going to require time, which why it's so important that we have a strong foundation, because the money is great, but the money, all it's doing is providing you a mechanism to achieve your aspirations. Most people don't say, my goal is to work 80 hours a week, make as much money as I can, and work as hard as I can, come home every night and just go right to bed. Like, that's not what most people aspire. You want the income, you want the financial resources to be able to fuel and fund your fun, your life. Maybe you're at a point now where you're just trying to pay bills. Maybe you're at a point now where you want to get out of debt. And so I teach a class about goal alignment, which really helps you make sure your goals are aligned with your true motivation and where you're at in your life at any given time. So that's another great class to look for. It's called Goal Alignment. But right now, I just want you to write down as many things that you want. Like, I want this, I want this. I want to pay off my house. I want to pay off my car. I want to go on 4 vacations a year. I only want to work 20 hours a week. I mean, so whatever it is that you're aspiring for that sounds good, even if it's not your number one why, you'll have a very strong anchor why, and then you might have a bunch of other things. I encourage you to really just do a brain dump and put as much as you can on paper, and then you can kind of filter through it and get a little more focused as the year goes through. And you can also use that big laundry list as things that you're able to actually check off as you accomplish it. So the power of the check mark is very encouraging and extremely motivating. So we don't want to discount our little goals because we think, wow, that's so little, I don't even need to put it on paper. Put it down. Maybe there's a piece of jewelry you've been looking at that you really want, or maybe there's something you want to buy your spouse or a friend. Maybe you want to be able to, participate in more charities. Maybe you're just in saving mode and you're like, I really need to beef up my 401k right now. I need to make sure I have extra money for healthcare. Remember, as self-employed independent contractors, we're not loaded down with a bunch of benefits. So we need to create those benefits for ourselves. And that's what I love about this career. The sky's the limit. You are completely in control of your income. So That's what we're going to get grounded in today. So just take the time, take a few days and really just write down everything. Don't do it in 5-10 minutes. Like you're not going to get through that exercise in this 40 minutes. That's something that really requires reflection and deep thought and where you're at. And if you want to go to a year, 5 years, 10 years, write those down too. There's no right or wrong way to do this, but you have to do it. When I work with my coaching clients, if they haven't expressed a why to me and what's important to them and why they picked this career and what it's going to mean for their future and their present time and their family situation, I find it very difficult to coach people if I don't understand their why. So it's just like when you're working with your sellers and your buyers. What's their why? What's their true motivation? So you need to go through that same process. So take the time, take a couple of days, get a nice beefy list there, things that really spark your fire and get you geared up and ready to go attack this career with full force. And you want to be all in. This is a very, very difficult career to dabble in. I don't coach people that dabble in this business. So the ones that are all in and are committed to providing that higher level of service to their clients that are in this for full time, unless they've already been in it in full time and now they're transitioning to the end of their career cycle. Those are the people that we're looking for. Those are the ones that we're looking to help and to nurture and to grow. We have proven systems that have worked over and over and over again. So when we get participants that are willing to take action on what we already know works, that's where the magic happens. That's where we see the great success. That's where we all get to celebrate and watch people go from 3 deals to 9 deals to 15 deals. Maybe their final goal is 30 transactions a year, whatever that looks like. But when you can actually experience the growth and the learning and the goal setting and the goal getting, that's where the magic happens. And that's what we're all passionate about here. And that's what gets us fired up. So write down those aspirations, take a couple of days to do it, and really put some thought behind it. After we know why you're doing this, we need to know what we need to accomplish to make sure that those aspirations are actually realized. So the budgeting, everybody's favorite. Nobody likes budgeting, but you have to do it. That clarity will give you the direction and the fire that you need. It's also going to turn into your entrepreneur's mantra, which is critical for you to have success in this business. So what we've done is we have some spreadsheets that will automatically calculate numbers for you. So once you know your monthly costs for all these items that are listed in the booklet, you're able to plug them into an Excel spreadsheet and it will calculate the numbers for you. We take you through 2 budgets. This is a little painful. It shines a light on your habits and, might help you actually make some changes. I encourage you to get your credit card statements out, get your bank account out. I can't tell you, going through these personal and business budgets, how many realtors I have worked with that they forgot that they had something on auto bill and they're not even using it anymore. Sometimes going through this process will actually help you cut things out of your life that you don't need to be spending. And sometimes when you see the dollar amount for a year, you're a little horrified and you might make some changes. So when I put my $246 a month Verizon bill in here per month, and then I see what that translates into for a year, sometimes it makes me want to go find a different carrier. And same thing for Netflix and cable and getting my nails done and my fake eyelashes and my hair and clothes, all the fun things. But then we also have gas and all the things for our car and our licensing fees and our brokerage fees and going on conventions. All of this stuff adds up. Need to have a clear picture. So the next few pages are kind of painful, but they actually are the power behind what will make you a strong, steady, and profitable business owner over the long run. Got to know your numbers. So you'll see we have lots of things that are in your personal budget, a lot of do you knows and here and things on here, but we tried to hit all the areas that you may overlook when you try to do a budget really quick just by memory. So personal transportation, financial obligations, long-term savings, put your stuff that you want to save, your retirement. How much do you want to save a month? Build it into your number. Tuition, student loans, auto loans, credit card payments, subscriptions, magazines, vacations. Build in for a vacation. I can't tell you how many people I work with. They say, well, if I have enough money, I'll go on a trip. And I'm like, well, why didn't you just plan to make that money and then go on the trip? So if you build in money right here in your budget for 4 vacations, then your number just increases from maybe 170 a year to 210. Like going from 170 to 210 is not a big deal. None of these numbers, I mean, all these numbers are so attainable because the power is in your actions. So whatever actions you're willing to do, it is not difficult. That's what I love about real estate is it's one of the easiest careers to make a lot of money in. Now you have to be busy and you have to know what you're doing and you have to have systems and you have to provide really good service and you need to track every little thing. So being successful in real estate is, everybody wants to do this coaching and that coaching and, oh, this system's going to do it. And I have the shiny object that's the holy grail. And not really. What it really comes down to is hard work and knowing what your strengths are, knowing how to delegate and working, like really working, not just chasing your tail and those things. So when you're systemized and you have a really strong foundation, I've seen it. I work in an office filled with people that they know exactly what they're doing and they're having a ball. And they do it very, very well. And it's very, very encouraging. And that's why we're so proud of what we're able to bring to other people because these are proven systems. You just have to be willing to do it. And, when I work with people, if they're succeeding, it's because they're willing to do it and they're skillful. And if they're not succeeding, it's because either they're not willing to do it or they're just not skilled in that area. So I can always work with somebody unskilled, but I can't work with someone that's just unwilling. So if you have the will and you just need to work on your skills, well, we have a great place for you. we have a great environment for that. But for the folks that are very, very skilled and they're just not willing to do it, well, that equals failure. And for the people that aren't skilled and aren't willing to learn, they're not patient, they're not all in, they're not learning based, and they're not willing to endure, that's failure. So it's very clear, it's crystal clear as to why people make it and why people don't. Sometimes it's not as clear to put yourself in front of the mirror and discover which area you fall into. Sometimes that's very uncomfortable. But sometimes through that uncomfortableness, magic can happen on the other side. It's what happened for me. I was very unskilled when I first got into real estate, as we are. How could you just enter into a new career and be skilled? You're not. I struggled very, very much in the beginning because I didn't come from a sales background. I'd never been a business owner. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was scared of people. I didn't know what to say in front of people. So, you have to kind of go through this process. And when you have someone that's been through it and has seen other people come out the other side, came out the other side myself, that's what you want to surround yourself with. People that figured it out. If you're around people that have figured it out, you too will figure it out, especially when you have the support systems that are in place. So get out your credit cards, get out your bank statement, and really look hard at what you're spending and what you want to build and plan for in the following year. So we're going to take you through the personal budget. I have the spreadsheets that complement this in Excel, so you can just plug it in. Here, if you wanted to just follow it along manually in the booklet, you absolutely could do that as well. It's up to you. Personal expenses, miscellaneous, and then we put through the whole budget, and that will give us your personal budget total. Then we're going to flip and we're going to move over to business. So here we're going to talk about auto expenses and travel and entertainment, networking, your sphere of influence marketing, right? All the things you do for your clients, all the things you do for your listings. Those are all really, really important things to make sure we account for. Non-network marketing things, property-specific marketing. Do you use a professional photographer? Do you do virtual tours, Matterports, social media ads, what all do you do when you get listings and all the expenses you have for your buyers? Do you have your business savings account? Admin expenses? Are you using a transaction coordinator? Hopefully you are. Why every agent on the planet is not using a TC is a little bit interesting to me. Team expenses if you're on a team, and then we put all that into a summary, and that will give us your business expense total. Personal and business, two separate entities. You need to go through the process of doing both. I encourage you to take a couple of days, look at all your subscriptions, do you have to pay for a website where you're at? What are your company dues? Are you doing it yourself? Are you paying for leads? Everything needs to be accounted for. And once you do this once, it's easier to kind of manage from year to year because certain things will go away. They're on your radar. You're laser focused. You get everything organized. And then you can really see what's an expense, what's an investment, and the difference between that. So that's another, during private sessions, we really dive into the expenses and then the investments and what can you get a return on investment for. But this process is extremely important to go through. So you can't skip this step. And this whole program doesn't work if you don't do all 10 steps. So it is in my opinion, for a full success, it's an all or nothing process. Got to go through all these steps. Don't skip. So once we get your business and your personal budgets complete, we can now establish what we call your lifestyle number. So all we're going to do is we're going to add those together. We're going to add through and I didn't have it on full screen. There we go. We're going to add through your personal budget and your business budget, and that's going to give us your net income needed after taxes. Now, if you go ahead and plan for your taxes and you pay those quarterly, there was a slot for you to add that into the business budget. If you don't plan or you don't know what that quarterly figure is, we have a little cheat multiplier. Now, this is an approximate, so of course you would need to speak with your accountant. But basically, you'll see here under number 4, if your net income needed after taxes, in this example, the example here was 144 or 195. So you'll see that if your number is 0 to 75,000, then you'll just take that number and multiply it by 1.3. If your number falls in between 75,000 and 150,000, then you're going to multiply that by 1.35. And if your number is above 150, your multiplier is going to be 1.4. And basically, that's just saying you're either in a 30% tax bracket, a 35% tax bracket, or a 40% tax bracket. And that's going to help you build in the extra income to pay Uncle Sam. So you don't want to be in a position where you're out of money, but you still have to pay all that taxes. So we just add it to our number. So in this example, the business budget was 54,000. The personal budget was 90,000. So the total after tax amount was 144. We multiply it by 1.35. So in this case, in our example, the gross commission income needed to fund the lifestyle in this example is 194,663. So that's what you need to figure out. I can't tell you how many times I'll ask people, so what's your financial requirement? What's your lifestyle number? Oh, I need to make 100 grand. I'm like, okay, where'd you get to 100 even? Like, it should not be an even number. I mean, if we're really taking the time and you've built in for your tax bill and everything else, it's probably going to be a lot more than you think it is. If you're building in for vacations and 401k and healthcare and all these other expenses that you have when you get listings and work with buyers and your appreciation programs, your client for life programs, and your brokerage fees and all that other stuff. Most people, when they say they need 100, if we really drill down into it, they actually need like 160. So definitely find your number, because once we have this clarity, it's real easy to put in a program and a system for you to follow on a regular basis to hit that number. It's not difficult. So now that we have this number, this is your lifestyle number. What we're going to do from that is we're going to take this lifestyle number and we're going to put it onto what we call the entrepreneur's mantra. And so I'm just going to open up this. Here's our entrepreneur's mantra. So again, when you ask for the resources, you'll just get a copy of this, you'll print this out. And what we do here is we write down that lifestyle number. So in this case, we would say it is unacceptable for my business to profit or to earn less than $194,661. It's unacceptable because everything that I put in the personal budget and the business budget, I need to have covered. Therefore, it's now unacceptable for me to earn less than that number. It's unacceptable. It's not something I'm going for. It's something that cannot go below. And when you start saying that on a daily basis, and you start putting some non-negotiables in your life, it's amazing what happens to your subconscious. And subconsciously, you will start doing things that you were never doing before with a little more intention. And you'll be a lot more proactive because now it's unacceptable. Not, oh, I want to make this. No, you can't not make this. So what we do and what we have found to be so powerful, and I know it sounds kind of silly, we print this, we write in our number, maybe we put on some aspiration, some little affirmations around it, and we laminate it. We laminate this one sheet. It goes sitting on our desk, and every morning as we start our workday, we pick up that entrepreneur's mantra and we say, it is unacceptable for my business to earn less than 246,138. We put it down, take a deep breath, and we get to work. And we do that every single day. And even if you're not working, I encourage you to walk into your office, pick up that sheet, say it out loud, put it down. And even if you're off that day, you are putting things in your subconscious and out in an energy outward that you are serious about your career. You're serious about your business. You're serious about your clients, and you're serious about your income. And your income is completely in your control. So I know some people are like, oh, that sounds all like The Secret and all this weird stuff. I don't care what anybody thinks it sounds like. I have seen this work in my own life and in several of my colleagues' lives for the last 6 years. So you can say or think or do whatever you want, but I can tell you, you skip this step and there's a good chance you might not hit your number. You do this step every day with intention and you're proactive and you believe it and you are serious. You'll be shocked at what you accomplish. You'll be shocked. I was shocked the first year. I was skeptical the first year, but I still did it. And I am a consistency coach trying to work on myself and others for us to be consistent, do things over and over again. When you move from consistency, you become efficient. When you become efficient, you get to benefit from being proficient. Proficiency is where the magic happens. So this little step, while it may sound kind of silly, is so important. So I hope you will take it to heart and give it a try. I haven't had anybody that's done it for a whole year and didn't hit their goal. Now I've had people not do it and not hit their goal because they didn't do it. They didn't do all 10 steps. You have to do all 10 steps. So that's part of the secret. Okay, let's move back on. So now we have our lifestyle number. Now what we're going to do is talk about your financial goal and what that's going to look like for how many clients you need. Right? You need to get serious as a heart attack and you need to have a good plan. So we're going to take your lifestyle number and we're going to put it into number 1 up at the top here on our financial goal, 194,663, and you're going to figure out your average commission per side. So look last year. What'd you do last year? If you're new to the business, what did your office do? Typically, if you're working within an office, it's within a certain area where the market price is. You can figure out the average sale price. So ask your office, ask your broker, ask another agent, hey, look at the sales in your area. It's real easy to figure out what's the average sale price, multiply that by 6%, and then take half of that for your per side. So in this example, we're using an average commission of $6,000. I think the sale prices have inched up a little bit. So they're actually a little bit higher, but for this example, that's what we're going to use. And number of closed transactions needed then is 33. So if I want to earn $194,000 and my average commission is 6,000, I need 33 closed sales. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now we got to figure out how we're going to get that. And we're going to break down those sales into how many buyers and how many sellers. So in this example, we're going to do 50-50. So we're going to do 50% buyers and 50% sellers. Now, most people want to just do listings, and you do need listings to last. However, a truly balanced realtor will have typically 40% listings and 60% buyers. And the reason for that is your listings typically will generate buyers if you know how to work your signs and you know how to market your properties. Having inventory is the easiest way to get more buyers and more sellers. So for every one seller, we teach strategies on how to get 3 more pieces of business from every seller. And typically from the seller, we typically will get 1 additional seller and 2 buyers. So you'll see how it's typically you'll have more buyers, because for every listing, you should be generating 3 more pieces of business minimum. And that's what we teach. That's how our agents average $190,000 and over 24 deals a year, just on average. We have 118 agents, so some will do 200 deals, and you'll have some that might be a little bit shy of 24. But typically 24 deals, 180, 90,000 a year. So you got to figure out what yours is going to look like. The other reason it's important to know the difference between how many listings you want and how many buyers is they both have different costs associated, but they also have different lead generating strategies involved. So you definitely need to make sure that you're generating the type of lead that you're trying to nurture. And they're both going to have there's going to be some overlap on strategies, but then there's going to be some that's very, very specific. So in this case, we need 17 sellers and 16 buyers, and that's going to get us to our 33. So here we build in for a little bit of fallout. So you'll notice instead of just 17 sellers, I'm actually going to try to get 23, and 6 may end up, they can't move, they change their mind, maybe the relocation fell through. So I'm always going to try to get more clients than I need in case somebody doesn't end up closing. And then on the buyer side, instead of 16 buyers, I'm going to try to get 22 buyers in case their financing falls through, they decide to go buy a car the day before closing, whatever. So we're always going to build in for more than we need for fallout, or maybe they'll roll into the next year, because you also want to have a pipeline going. So we teach a lot about pipeline training, which a lot of coaches don't do, but we are very heavy on pipeline training and coaching. So in order to close 33 deals, I need 52 clients. Seems pretty doable. When you open up your door to your house, every house that you pass is a potential client. So we live in a world of abundance. There's opportunity literally everywhere. There's houses everywhere, and houses are our clients. So the sky is truly the limit. So when people are like, oh, I don't know anybody, I'm like, well, do you see that house? That's an opportunity. So once you learn how to break through your own stuff in your head that's keeping you from realizing that opportunity is everywhere, you'll start to realize that opportunity is everywhere. And all of a sudden, a lot of opportunity is going to start coming to you. You just need to know how to do it and how to make that happen. So once you learn that and you fall in love with that process, truly the sky's the limit. You'll be turning business away, or you'll be referring it. You don't want to work with a buyer? Refer it. Take a 30% referral fee or 25% referral fee. Just because you have a listing and you don't want to work with buyers, oh my gosh, you absolutely should not do everything in your power to market that listing to get as much business as either you want or you want to refer. Because if you put a sign in the yard and you don't capitalize on that, all you're doing is keeping other realtors in business, and they're thanking you, but you're not getting a referral fee from it. So why people don't understand this concept, I don't know if we just get too busy and we don't think about it. But this is where the magic happens. You get 1, you pick up 3. You get 1, you pick up 3. That's how to scale your business. You have to be proactive and intentional, have the strategies, the skills, the tools, and the resources at your fingertips, to be able to put this into place over and over and over again. And sometimes you might get 5 deals and sometimes you might get 2. I mean, typically I don't know, it's hard not to get 3 new opportunities from one. It doesn't mean you're going to get 3 new pieces of business that need to buy today, but it's easy to fill your pipeline with quality people if you know how to market your signs, and you should be marketing your buyers as well. Okay, so now that we know that, now we have to figure out, okay, we need 52 people. How many contacts do I need to make in a year to get 52 clients? Well, here's the little magic number. Every time you have 35 contacts, 35, we're going to talk about what a contact is, but 35 conversations about who you are, what you do, how you can help, offering your service, or just even talking about market conditions, 35 to 1. 35 talking about who you are, what you do, offering things, providing value, talking, texting, lunches, appointments, not with the same person, just in general out in the universe. 35, you get a client. So we're going to take 52. We need 52 clients, and we're going to multiply that by 35. I need to have 1,820 conversations a year about real estate. Either answering a question, going on an appointment, providing value, providing knowledge, something engaging about who I am and what I do. And you think about it, you should be doing that all the time anyway. And you probably are, and you don't even realize it. So now that I have clarity and focus, now I can take 1,820 and divide that by 45 weeks, 5 days a week. It's 8 contacts a day. 40 contacts a week is going to get me to my number. Now we just have to figure out, well, how do I make 40 contacts a week? How do I make 8 contacts a week? Well, the good thing is on the left is we're going to tell you what a contact is. So a face-to-face, a one-on-one conversation where you talk about real estate at some point. Now, sometimes these will actually be listing appointments, buyer consults. Sometimes it might just be taking a past client out. Or maybe you meet some new people and you have a tennis luncheon and you wear something that has your brokerage on it, right? You wear your garb. And someone says, hey, you're in real estate? What's going on with the market? If you know how to answer that question properly, you can now take someone that may never have even mentioned anything, and now they may end up in your sphere. They may end up into your business model, right? You just had one conversation. Maybe you do circle prospecting. Maybe you do FSBO calls. Maybe you do expired calls. Maybe you do probate calls. Maybe you do social media ads. Maybe you hold open houses. Maybe you have online leads, right? Maybe you do postcards and farming. So whatever you do, maybe you work your sphere of influence. All those different things are constituting contacts where you're in realtor mode, not in friend mode, but in business mode, work hours, talking about this. Hey, I got my work hat on now. I have my work gear on. I'm ready to have some contact. A phone call where you speak to someone live, messages don't count. A personal text message that results in a two-way exchange conversation, something about maybe you're providing value or something about real estate or something that's deepening a relationship that already started. Maybe somebody came to an open house and now you're following up with them. That constitutes a contact. A handwritten note, notice that's one way. Handwritten notes are so powerful. They're so powerful, and here I've already started, right? Got to do 5 a week minimum. I don't actively sell real estate anymore, so you'd have to do more than 5 a week, but you need 8 a day. Maybe you didn't feel like talking to anybody today, so you did 8 personal notes. That counts towards your 35. You do 35 contacts, you should be ready to talk with someone about buying or selling in a serious type of environment. 35 contacts produces a client. Now, it might not be 35 in one day, but once you get that 35 done, things are going to start happening. All of a sudden, the call is going to come somewhere, and it may not even translate back to the person that you had a conversation with. It's crazy how this works, but it works. Trust me, this is proven. This isn't theory. This is proven. You have to trust the system, but you also have to perform. You have to execute. You have to do these things. And a personal email that goes back and forth. back and forth. So it's been proven that a phone call is the most effective, second only to a deliberate, planned face-to-face contact. So the phone is extremely important. So once you know how many contacts you have to do, now we just got to figure out, what are we going to do to make that happen? And that's where the consulting comes in. That's where it becomes really important, because just knowing what you need to do is only about 25% of it. The rest is going to come from what actions you take day in, day out, 5 days a week, day in, day out, 5 days a week, right? 2 hours a day, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, 10 hours a week of lead generation and lead conversion should hit you into these goals. It's 10 hours a week. Don't tell anybody. The rest of the time, you're probably already working with clients or doing personal development. I'm working on my CE right now. So you're doing those things, but 10 hours a week of deliberate, intentional, proactive, planned, trackable, measurable action will hit you, will get you these numbers. Never fails. What fails is people doing 10 hours a week, week after week, and you have to be willing to do it for 90 days without getting a return on your time. You have to have an expectation that it's going to take you 90 days. It's called the compound effect. The compound effect needs compounding time to actually take effect. So you have to be willing to do what you lay out for 90 days and don't expect a result. You'll probably get one, but you can't expect one. So step 7, let's look at last year. Where'd your business come from? So I always include in this is something that I encourage everybody to use every month forever, and you print it out. And I know everybody wants to stay digital and everybody's in the computer, but with the computer, you're out of sight, out of mind. So everybody I work with, they print 12 of these out and they just write in December at the top. What did they close in volume? How many listings? How many buyers? They write out the address or the person's name for each one. And then over in source, they put exactly where that person came from. So if it was a referral, you can't just write referral. You have to write John Smith. And then what we do is the first of every month, we go through this document and we talk about where the business came from, what is working, how can we make it work better, and what's not working. What other strategies have you been doing for the last 8 months, which sometimes it takes 8 months before a certain strategy is going to pull through for you. Do we need to work on the skills? Are our conversion skills off? Are we not doing enough activity? Do we have the wrong message? Are we spending money in the right places? So when you look at this month in, month out, month in, month out, this is how we improve what's already working, improve what's not working, or get rid of what's not working for whatever reason, right? But this is how people get emboldened. This document alone will keep you from drifting, because if you have more than 1 month where this sheet is blank, that's a problem. And we need to figure out what the problem is. It's either a will issue or a skill issue. There's only 2 reasons people fail: will or skill. There's 2 reasons why people succeed: will and skill. That's it. It's not market conditions. The market will never dictate how much income the agents that I work with earn. It has nothing to do with market conditions. That will never happen. So you have to decide, this document is a game changer. This little document, sometimes people are like, hey, I watched the webinar, I went to your thing, it's awesome. Just send me that monthly source transaction. That's the missing piece I had. So if this is the missing piece and you have an accountability partner that you can go through this document the first of every month, the first Monday of every month, then this may be all you need. You may have all the pieces. Sometimes I find people have 6 or 7 of these steps already in place, but they were missing 3 or they were missing 4. When you put them all together, it's success. And that's what I love. So I love sharing this because it works. That's why I get so passionate about it, because it works. I'm not passionate about theory. I'm not passionate about things that I haven't already walked my feet in. I still like learning new things, but they're all just theory unless I've lived it. And now I watch everybody else live this in front of me. Like, that's where the magic comes. That's why they call me the passionate presenter, because I get so passionate when I know something works. And then I just want you to go do it. So if you will go do it, you could have tremendous success, and you will, and you could have success and not even be doing this stuff. And that's awesome. There's so many ways to make it in this business, but there's also so many ways to fail. So we want to minimize that learning curve, and we want to get you where you want to go as quickly as possible. So we're just going to write down, where did you get all your business from last year? So you can use this little sheet right here. And you might have a couple of other strategies that you use. I don't know every strategy out there. I don't. But these are the ones that we're talking about here today. So go through this and figure out where your business came from and what you're good at, what you like, where you want to get that business from moving forward. And then you're going to pick your channel. So I encourage you to pick 3 or 4. I know Viral Workman, we teach Viral Workman, which is called Rising Agent Mastery Program. It's a 13-week program that really builds a very strong foundation to help you know exactly what to do, how many points a day you need. It's awesome. And he recommends that you have 4 modes of getting your business. Those 4 modes all have activities attached to them that fill your hour of lead generation and then your follow-up hour of lead conversion. So that's where we get the 2 hours a day. You have an hour of generation, an hour of conversion, 10 hours a week. So here's just a couple of ones. We have farming, just listed, just sold, postcard programs, the new listing prospect letter programs. We have expireds. We have social media strategies now, a really big, strong digital footprint, things with our website, landing pages, videos, huge. Open houses are tremendous opportunities. Working your sphere of influence, circle prospecting, probate. So you got to pick. I try to focus on 3, and you're going to stay with those 3 for 5 years. Typically, it will take 10,000 hours to master anything. You have a 5-year plan of working on these 3 or 4 pillars, sales channels, to get better, better, and better, better, and better. We don't need to go find a million different ways to do it. Most people will jump from activity to activity because they don't give it enough time to actually have the compound effect and have the skills catch up with what you're trying to accomplish. So people keep switching what they're trying to do to get leads before they've even gotten good at it. So you have to get good at converting leads. Generating leads is really easy. It's converting the leads that's the difficult part. That needs some skill, that needs some time, that needs some attention, needs time, needs 5 years to get good at actually being able to convert something. So you have to give it enough time. You have to build in for the learning curve, for the mastery. And I see people just jump, 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 jump. I'm like, oh God, you're never going to get good at anything if you keep doing that. You've got to build in time to learn. Give yourself grace. And that's what we can do, is we can keep you grounded so you don't give up too soon. It's like Brian Buffini says, and I'm certified in Buffini coaching too. I mean, in trainings. But I love when he talks about planting a seed. You put the seed way down in the dirt, just like the bamboo, right? Bamboo stays under the ground for 5 years. And then all of a sudden, after 5 years, it shoots up hundreds of feet in the air. But for 5 years, you don't even think there is bamboo there. That's the same thing with a seed. You put a seed way in the dirt and you can't see anything. You're like, is this working? Well, you got to water it. And then you got to water it. And then you got to water it. And typically you keep watering it, and after 7 days and you don't see anything, you're like, ah, it's dead. And you walk away, and then 3 days later, oh, the little sprout comes out from the ground. Because it all takes time. That's why I say you have to be willing to do things for 90 days with no expectation of a return. Now you might get a return, but don't expect one. Put your head down. Do the activities that you're told. Do the activities that you said you were going to do. Keep your word. Stay loyal. Stay true. Make the contacts. Make the contacts. Which ones are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Find the skills that you need. Find the training that you need that's going to help you in those pillars to perform at a high level. Most people never think of it this way. And so they just struggle. They're a hamster on the wheel. And that's just not fun. I mean, I don't think it's fun. Some people will get a charge out of that. And some people, I want to figure out, how can I get a higher return on what I'm doing? And that's what we teach. That's that ROI. So the tracking becomes so important. And then you're going to figure out, like I said, here, if it's working with your sphere, well, you got to do monthly snail mails. You got to send out the property evaluations every month, right? Put them on a drip through Diggs or HomeBeat or your website or FMLS where they get the updates every month, right? You got to do the notes. You got to do the pop buys, maybe have an event. You got to do birthday cards to the kids and the parents, home anniversary meetings every month on the year of their anniversary, personal emails, personal text, a newsletter. Like you've got to be working. I teach a class. Are you waiting by referral or working by referral? There's a difference. So you have to know these are the activities that are going to fill your hour. Open houses, same thing. If you do open houses, I have a great video that I've done on how to hold an effective open house. Ask me for that. FSBOs, you're gonna, a lot of people aren't doing FSBOs right now. They'll come back. They might not be that popular now, but they'll come back. Expired listings. I see somebody just, closing between 40 and 55 deals a year just doing expireds, right? Used to work the referral stuff all the time, moved into the expireds, having tremendous success. In the beginning, painful, no return, but kept doing it, kept his head down, said, I'm just going to keep doing it. I know it's going to work at some point. Whoo, boy, is it working now. Because he was willing to do it over and over and over again, even when he wasn't winning. Because he knew that he was going to keep getting better and keep improving and saying better things. And his confidence was going to go up. And just all that changed over time because he didn't give up. Persistence goes a long way in this business. Just listed, just sold marketing, all those strategies, farming strategies, social strategies. So all kinds of strategies that we have in place. And again, you'll find the training. We call it sparring over here on the right. Study, practice, take action, repeat, and review. Study, practice, take action, repeat. Study, practice, take action, repeat. And that's where you get in with some accountability and have someone on your side that can help you review what you're saying, practice with you, all those kinds of things. We have several, we have like probably another 11 courses that we offer in addition to the ones that are outlined here. But that's the whole thing, these trainings, you're going to them over and over again and hearing it and really taking that time for personal development. You have lead generation, lead conversion, client care, and personal development. That's how we break down our workday into those 4 blocks. And then you have your off time. Oh, you're off. And we want you to be off. So that's how we put this whole package together. And it's really, really powerful. And it's great to see, how people come at the end of it. At RE/MAX Center, we have momentum training. It's a whole program that is specific to the RE/MAX brand. And it's all kinds of courses, lead generation courses. We have expired boot camp, FSBO boot camp, open house, marketing, referral, conversion courses, how to go on a listing appointment, listing conversion. We have a very strong pricing strategy, pricing boot camp, and our buyer conversion, listing objections boot camp. So we have all these trainings, which are great. And really it's about, your mindset. Have an openness to learn, do whatever it takes, have a willingness to outperform others, have a heartfelt spirit of gratitude, have a boldness to invest, be willing to invest in yourself and your business. I talk to a lot of people like, oh, I'm just going to go wherever it's the cheapest. And I'm like, is that what you want your clients to say to you? I'm just going to go with the cheapest. Don't you know that when people say that they're not getting the best of anything? Like, you've got to be willing to invest in yourself. And I don't look at where you're at as an expense. It's an investment. If you're at the right place, you're getting so much for your investment. And that's what you need to analyze. People are like, well, I don't pay much, but I don't get much either. But that's okay. I'm like, is that what you want your clients to say? I'm just going to go with the cheapest. I don't care what I get. You don't want to go up against that either, right? Because you know that that's a disservice to them, that they could have such a better experience. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be protecting the client experience. Terry Watson talks about that all the time. It's all about client experience. not about the fact if you're able to make a sale or not. It's not hard to close a deal, but it's hard to have someone go through a quality process. It's the experience that people refer, not whether or not you help them buy or sell. Make a commitment to delay gratification and remember where you came from. Your mindset is so important. It's so critical. Having the right mindset, the right determination, perseverance, being proactive and intentional, as opposed to 90% of the population, which is spontaneous and reactive. We don't want to do that. And then accountability. So you can commit to accountability to tracking on your own. You can have accountability from one of the coaches here. It's up to you. You might have a friend, your spouse might be, accountable to you. Sometimes it's good to have an accountability partner that's in a different industry, not even in real estate. It does not have to be someone in real estate. So accountability is so big and tracking is huge. Pearson's law states that what you track and measure will improve. What you track, measure, and report will improve exponentially. And I have seen it happen over and over and over again. So we have all kinds of daily activity trackers for whatever system you want to follow. We can make up one specific to what your activities are. Typically, we already have a bunch that are already ready to go and ready for you just to start doing and tracking. We have listing return on investment trackers, our postcard systems we track. So we are really big about tracking because we understand that that is where improvements can be made and actually where the magic happens. When you invest in the time it takes to track everything, you become much more in tune with your activities and what's working and what isn't, and you really understand where to focus for your skill set. So tracking is just crucial. And again, all these steps together are what make for a very, very strong, professional, happy, balanced, excellent service providing, top-notch realtor. And that's what we surround ourselves with. That's what we're looking for more of. Those are the kind of people that we want to help. Those are the people that we want, to surround us with. People that care about their clients, care about their skill set, are willing to do what it takes, are living their best life or trying to get to it. And we've seen this just be completely transformational for agent after agent. So we love it. I'm happy to have shared it with you today. Again, we kind of have here on the back here, on average, every quality contact a person makes every day, they'll earn $25,000 in commission. So again, it's quality contacts. It's your call, literally. So go through this, take some time to go through this and all the resources that we have that accompany this. Reach out. My email is Holly, HOLLY, at centermember.com, centermember.com. My number, 404-271-4999. Always up for a chat about real estate or anything. Happy that you spent some time with me here today. I'd love to meet you. And I look forward to serving you sometime in the future. Future looks bright. Take care.